Alright, so hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're going to take a quick look at our newest crossbow that was released with Wukong Prime Access, the Zhuge Prime. Now, first things first, if you want to get your hands on this puppy, you can get the blueprint as an uncommon drop from the glyph L1 relic, the barrow as a rare drop from the Neo Z3 relic, the grip as a common drop from the Meso A2 relic, the receiver as an uncommon drop from the Axii D1 relic, and finally the string as a common drop from the Axii M1 relic. Now, the Zhuge Prime is a Mastery Rank 14 primary crossbow and it does 90 damage per shot, 42.3 is slash, 26.5 is puncture, and 21.2 is impact. It is extremely accurate. It comes with a fire rate of 5.5 rounds per second, a 30-round magazine with 540 rounds in total, and a 3-second reload time. However, it is actually not as bad as you might think if you're not a reload junkie like me, because if you reload with an empty magazine, it will reload twice as fast, so 1.5 seconds. And other than that, it comes with a pretty solid 26% crit chance, a standard 2x crit multiplier, a very high 30% status chance, and it has 3 innate V polarities, which is pretty awesome. Now, the Zhuge Prime also comes with a unique mechanic, other than reloading twice as fast if you have an empty magazine, that is. Because the bolts fired from the Zhuge Prime will explode after about 1 second once they embed themselves into the target, or the wall, or whatever you shoot with it. Now, this has some pros and some cons. The pros are the AoE on the explosion is pretty big, so it will often hit multiple targets, which is great. It seems to do the full damage of the weapon, which is even better, and it's able to proc status, which is just awesome. But the cons are that the explosion deals self-damage, quite a lot of it actually, and it's made even worse by the fact that it can proc status, so you can strip away your armor or cut away your health, and the weapon is not silent. The good news though is that since the weapon comes with 3 innate V polarities, you don't actually have to invest any Forma to get a pretty decent build going. And the one I chose is running Serration for damage. Then I personally went with fast hands because, as I've said, I'm a reload junkie, and even though I try really hard to wait until the magazine is empty, I will often reload with 1 or 2 bolts left in the magazine, so this cuts down the reload time. Then I have Split Chamber for multi-shot, Point Strike combined with Argent Scope for crit chance, and I would really not recommend not running Argent Scope because then the crit chance is very unreliable and the damage is going to be all over the place. Then I'm running Vital Sense for the crit damage, and in this case I'm running High Voltage and Malignant Force for the corrosive end status, but in certain situations Viral is going to be better and even Gas can be better. Also, if you're not a reload junkie and you don't want to run fast hands, you can easily take it out and put in either Thunderbolt for more fun, you can put in another dual stat mode for higher status reliability, or you can just put in Fanged Fusillade so you get more slash procs. Now, when it comes to the damage of this setup, it's actually very solid if you pick the right elemental combo. When it comes to the Grenier, for example, corrosive is just better than everything else, like head and shoulders above everything else, including viral. And it's because of how fast you can actually strip armor with a combination of hitting the enemy with the bolts as well as the bolts exploding. So the enemies will lose armor incredibly fast, and that will allow both the bolts as well as the explosion to do progressively more and more damage. But it's not going to be as effective versus the infested because the corrosive procs don't really do anything, so this is where you want to switch to viral, which damages the only form of defense the infested have, which is a big health pool. And it's the same for the corpus at high levels, because at that point they have a ton of health, so cutting it in half is the best thing you can do. However, if they're not at super high level, like sortie level, it might be better to actually go with gas, which is just gonna cover a larger area, especially thanks to the explosions. So yeah, this is one of those weapons or setups where you really want to choose the right element for what you're gonna be doing. And now we come to the conclusion. So what do I actually think about the Zhuge Prime? Well, I'm not super happy with it, unfortunately. It was so close, this close. I'm actually showing you how close, even though you can't see it, but trust me, it was this close to being amazing, and they ballsed it up by adding the self-damage. And I, for the life of me, do not understand why. Why give it another downside? It already has a 3-second reload if you don't wait for your magazine to be completely empty before you start reloading. And I know there are people that always say, well, self-damage isn't actually that big of a deal, you just need to get good, mate. But hear me out, it's pretty bad with this weapon, because if you're not doing what people are calling my Call of Duty shuffle, which is how I move in my videos, right? I don't want to bullet jump around and swing my camera about, bashing it into terrain so it snaps back and forth. So you're playing the game normally and you're bullet jumping around and you're just zooming through the mission, you will constantly, and I do repeat, constantly run into your own bolts and perish because of the delay. And it is infuriating. If you don't have this weapon, imagine running around with a fully automatic lens that doesn't have the bubble showing you where it's going to kaboom. It's just annoying, even on Wukong Prime with Umbral mod, so I'm pretty tanky. If you're gonna run this with a squishier frame, good freaking luck. I mean, it's not all bad. It works in like survival and defense and mobile defense, that kind of stuff, where you can just bunker down and fire into a hallway or as a cryopod or whatever. But as soon as you need to move and shoot at the same time, just no, absolutely not. So as far as my own personal recommendation goes, it is a thumbs down and absolutely not. But if you're better at managing self-damage and avoiding self-damage, and you're not a reload junkie like me, this could be a maybe for you. So there you go, and that's pretty much what I wanted to say. So I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.